My name is John Cornwell. The name of our business is A to Z Cycles. We repair motorcycles and sell motorcycle parts. I grew up in Massachusetts. My father was a machinist. My mother was a seamstress. They both went to trade school. I went to trade school for auto body, and my first job was working in auto body shops. I did that for 16 years.
I'm Melissa Cornwell, and I'm Vice President of A to Z Cycles, and I grew up here. My dad actually started out as a photographer with the space project at ILC, and my mother was a bookkeeper. I saw where they were looking for an estimator in a body shop and thought I'd give it a try, and it said no experience necessary, so the owner hired me and taught me everything, and so I've been around cars and the body shop industry going on 25 years now.
John and Melissa shared a mutual love of riding and working on motorcycles.
I've been riding since I was 16. I had my motorcycle license 2 days longer than my car license.
Being able to ride together has been awesome. I started out riding on the back with him, and then learned how to ride on my own. Got my license. I have my own bike now.
Their shared hobby became a business when A to Z Cycles launched online.
I had a motorcycle that was only a year old, and a year later a new model came out, and I was going to trade mine in to buy this new model. Well, I was $5,000 upside down if I was going to trade my bike in to get this new model. So I came up with this idea of taking my bike completely apart, a brand new motorcycle that was a year old, and eBaying all my parts that were on the motorcycle to fund the project to build it the way I wanted. So it became an obsession of finding the parts on eBay. I bought the parts and then sold. I had to talk her into it too, because here I am selling $2,000 worth of parts to buy more parts back. So I bought my new parts on eBay, sold my old ones, and built that bike in our garage. And then I started running Craigslist ads saying, I will buy out your garage of takeoff parts. They were finding me people. I was meeting people in parking lots. There was people coming to my house.
Yeah.
It grew to where we started setting up at a local restaurant bike night, and with a trailer, and people were bringing me parts to the parking lot at 6 o'clock in the evening. When the bike night started at 7, people were bringing me pickup truck loads of parts and saying, I heard you're the guy that buys parts.
Trying to manage all of that while working full-time was very difficult.
Right. Now, our online business grew to where, I used to package things up before I went to work in the morning and bring them to Mail Zone in Camden, and I would be waiting for them to open the door and have 20 packages to push in the door, and then go to work.
Before long, the couple saw a storefront opportunity developing from their online business.
We would go to events and people were saying, well, where's your store? Where's your store? We want to come see your store, So it just kind of all evolved from there, and it's like, well, let's, give it a shot.
We needed to do something. It was either we grew or we shrunk back.
John and Melissa took the leap, opening A to Z Cycles in their former warehouse space outside of Dover, Delaware.
We basically made the decision to open this business because we were looking for some way of being able to manage our own destiny and be in charge of our own lives and our own income and so forth.
When I was building one of my custom bikes, we got very poor service from other establishments, and we didn't like the way that we were treated. We decided that we could offer more to people with helping them with their needs, and that's why we call it A to Z. So we can do things from A to Z for the customer, and we go above and beyond to help the customer. Even if we don't sell them the product, we educate them,
right?
And maybe can get them some help from somewhere else.
John and Melissa persevered, fine-tuning their business plan until they were ready to seek financing.
The way that we became connected with the possibility of any financing was through our SCORE counselor. Once we got our business plan to where he was satisfied with it, then he started to introduce us to a couple of resources, and First State Community Loan Fund was one of them.
First State Community Loan Fund helped us putting the heating system, building walls, having the electrician come in and moving lighting, to buying computers,
right.
equipment for the service department. So we made a list of what we needed, and then we started picking off that list of where did that money need to go to first, and how were we going to budget it out. And I think we did about maybe 15 draws on the money.
Right, it worked a lot like, if anybody's familiar with building a house, it worked like a construction loan. So they basically said, okay, here's this pot of money. We need to see how you're going to use it, and we need to help you, work through that. So each time we needed to take a draw, we had to present what we were taking that draw for, and then they would give us the draw and then disperse the monies.
Now, more than 5 years later, A to Z Cycles is riding high, serving customers from across the Delmarva Peninsula. What's their secret?
Truthfully, this is what we do. If somebody doesn't have money, they're going to buy food before they buy something for a motorcycle. So it's a pleasure-driven industry. So being in a down economy, everybody thought, well, there's no way you can make it. And they knew that we had the strength to do it, but they really didn't give us a whole lot of support.
I don't think they took us as serious as we took ourselves.
Exactly. By simply having customers that respect us and trust us, and I think that's the biggest thing, is the trust. They reach a point where they won't deal with anybody else, and they tell their friends, hey, you got to go see these people because they're going to take care of you. And that, to me, is what makes us successful, and that's where I see this business growing.
The other way that we can measure success is that we've grown each year.
Sounds like a winning plan, John. We'll see you on the open road.